Rules of indices, part 2. When you have negative indices, it means 1 divided by the positive power. It looks like this. Let's see how that looks as an example. So we have to write as a fraction in index form 5 to the power of minus 3. So that means 1 divided by the positive power. So we've got 1 divided by the positive power. And the question asks for it in index form, so this is the final answer. You can also work backwards. So to write as a power of 2, the first thing we'll do is we'll change the 64 to 2 to the power of 6, and then we can rewrite that. Whenever we bring this to the top, it becomes 2 to the negative 6. So let's have a look at a few more examples. Here's a slightly different one. So when you have a fraction to a negative power, it means 1 divided by the positive power, but an easier way to think of this is to turn the fraction upside down and apply the positive power. And then from there, whenever you have a fraction to a power, you cube the top and you cube the bottom, which gives you 8 over 1, which of course is 8, or alternatively you could have gone straight from this step. 2 over 1 is just 2, so 2 cubed is 8. Now we're going to have a look at an unusual example. We have to evaluate 0.25 to the power of minus 1. So for this example, we first of all will change the decimal into a fraction. And then if you can remember back, whenever we have a fraction raised to a negative power, we turn the fraction upside down, which gives us 4 over 1, which of course is just 4 to the power of 1. So your answer is 4. Now we're going to look at fractional indices. Whenever you have a fractional indice, the denominator of the fraction is the root. That looks like this. For example, you had 8 to the power of a third. The bottom of the fraction is the root, so it would be the cube root of 8. And the answer, of course, would be 2. However, if you have a number other than 1 as a numerator in the fraction, you have to do it as follows. So you still have the denominator, which is the root, and then the numerator is what you raise to the power of. And that looks like this, and let's have a look at an example. So we have 64 to the power of 2/3, so the bottom is the root, so we'll take the cube root. Once we've done that, we'll raise it to the power of 2. So the cube root of 64, which is 4, and then we do 4 squared, which is 16. Whenever you write your workings out, it's often written as this. So it shows that you're doing the cube root first, and then you square it afterwards. So you'll go from this stage, and then write it like this. Now you could also square it first, and then do the cube root. However, the reason you wouldn't, of course, do it this way is trying to square 64 would be very difficult. Now it's your turn to answer some questions. Pause the video, then try these. How did you do? Here are the answers. If you answered any incorrectly, have a look back through the video and then try again.